Hello, everyone, and welcome to Language Flow, the podcast where you can improve your English just by listening. I'm your host, Avery.
And I'm Melody. We are so glad you're joining us today.
We have a very exciting topic today, and I want to start with a big question for you, Melody, and for everyone listening at home. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Ask away.
All right. If you could wake up tomorrow with any superpower, what would you choose?
Ooh, that is such a great question. I think almost everyone has imagined having a special power at some point in their life. It's such a fun daydream.
Exactly. We've all used our imagination to picture ourselves flying through the sky or becoming invisible. So what's your final answer? Just one.
Just one is so hard. I think I would choose teleportation, the ability to go anywhere in the world in an instant. What about you?
Teleportation is a great choice. My choice is very different. I would want the power to heal people.
Wow, that's so thoughtful. See, we already have completely different ideas, one for adventure and one for helping others.
And that's what today's episode is all about. We're going to explore all kinds of amazing abilities and the funny situations that might happen because of them.
So, as you listen, keep thinking about your own answer. Which superpower would you choose? Let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with a really famous superpower, flying.
Yes, flying would be incredible. Just the feeling of freedom, of soaring through the clouds like a bird. No more sitting in traffic.
That's the first thing I think about. No more traffic jams. But let's think about the problems. What are the downsides of flying?
Well, the weather could be a big problem. Flying in the rain or a storm would be cold and wet. And what about bugs? You'd be flying through clouds of them.
Yuck. I didn't think about that. And you'd probably get very tired. Do your arms get sore? Does it take a lot of energy? It's not so simple when you really think about it.
True, but still, imagine the views. What's the first place you would fly to, listeners? A mountaintop or over the ocean?
And what about landing? That seems like a really important detail. You can't just stop flying and fall, right? You'd have to practice landing gracefully so you don't crash into a tree.
That's a good point. And what if you get an itch on your nose while you're flying hundreds of feet in the air? You can't just scratch it. It's these little details that make you think.
That's true. It really makes you think about all the little things. It's not just about the big, exciting idea of flying. It's about how it would fit into your real, everyday life. Okay, let's move to another classic, super strength.
This one would make everyday life so much easier. You'd never need help carrying the groceries or moving furniture.
Of course. You could also be a hero, like lifting a car to save someone. But I think I would constantly be breaking things.
Me too. Imagine trying to give someone a high five and accidentally sending them across the room, or shaking someone's hand too hard.
You would have to be so careful. It's a huge responsibility. That's a good word. Responsibility means it's your job or duty to be careful and do the right thing.
Right, you'd have a responsibility not to break your friend's hand. So, would you tell anyone if you had this power, or keep it a secret?
I think I would have to. Otherwise, people would always be asking, how did you lift that sofa with one hand?
That's true. It would be hard to hide. I'm just imagining trying to cook dinner. You'd crack an egg and the whole thing would just explode in your hand. Or you'd try to chop a carrot and you'd slice right through the cutting board and the counter. That's true. It would be hard to keep it a secret. I just keep imagining trying to cook dinner. You'd be chopping vegetables and accidentally slice right through the cutting board and the counter, or trying to stir some soup and the spoon just bends in half. It would be a disaster. Okay, how about a more complicated power? The power to read minds.
Oh no, I think this one is a terrible idea. At first, it sounds cool because you'd always know the truth.
Mm-hmm. You'd know if your friend really likes your new shoes, but what if they don't? Do you really want to know every little negative thought someone has?
I don't think so. I think it would make me sad, and your mind would be so full of other people's thoughts. It would be very noisy in your head.
And there are no more surprises. Imagine someone plans a surprise birthday party for you. You would know about it weeks before. That's no fun.
So true. Mind reading would ruin movies, books, and parties. For me, it's a definite no.
I agree. Okay, what about a similar power? Invisibility, the ability to become invisible, which means no one can see you.
Now, this one is tempting. You could play so many funny pranks on your friends.
You could, but would you use your power for good? You could be a great detective and listen to criminals to find out their plans.
That's a noble idea, but I wonder if it would be lonely. You can't talk to people because they don't know you're there. They would just walk right into you.
And here's a very important question. Are your clothes invisible too, or do you have to be naked to be invisible?
I hope the clothes are invisible, otherwise, it's a very cold superpower. All these powers seem to create new problems.
They really do. So now let's talk about my choice, teleportation.
Okay, explain again what it means to teleport.
To teleport means you can disappear from one place and reappear in another place instantly. I could be in our studio 1 second and on a beach in Hawaii the next.
That does sound like the most useful power for everyday life. I would never be late again. I could sleep in an extra 30 minutes every day.
And the travel. You could have breakfast in Paris, lunch in Tokyo. It would be the greatest adventure. But what's the downside, Avery? Find a problem.
The problem is accuracy. You have to be very precise. What if you want to teleport into your friend's living room, but you get the location slightly wrong and end up inside their wall?
Oh no, I never thought of that. Okay, that is a serious problem. You need to be very good at geography.
Exactly. Now, for the most complicated power of all, time travel.
Ooh, traveling to the past or the future. I would love to go to the past and see dinosaurs.
Seeing history would be amazing, but most people want to go to the past to change something, to fix a mistake, and that's where it gets dangerous.
Right. You could change one small thing, and that could change the whole future in a terrible way. It's too risky. What about visiting the future?
Seeing what technology is like in 100 years would be cool, but what if you find out something bad is going to happen? Do you try to stop it? It's so complex.
I think so too. Okay, I think it's time for our mini debate.
Let's do it. You have to choose one power, and I have to choose one power, and we have to argue which one is better.
Okay, I will argue for my initial choice, teleportation. It's practical, but it's also about fun and adventure.
And I will argue for my choice, the power of healing, a very different kind of power. So you start. Why is teleportation the best superpower?
Teleportation is the best because it improves your life and lets you experience the whole world. You could learn about so many different cultures. You could see all the wonders of the world, from the Great Wall of China to the Amazon rainforest, all in 1 week. It makes the world smaller and connects you to everything.
That sounds amazing. It really does. But isn't it a little bit selfish? It's all about your experience, your adventure. The power of healing is all about helping other people.
I see your point, but you could use teleportation for good. You could deliver medicine to a remote village or help in disaster relief, getting people to safety instantly.
That's true, you could. But with the power to heal, you're directly taking away someone's pain. You can make a sick child healthy. You can cure diseases that doctors can't fix. There is no greater gift you could give someone. It's about kindness and compassion.
I agree that it's a wonderful, selfless power. But what about the responsibility? The pressure would be immense. You would have people asking for your help 24 hours a day. You could never rest, and you'd have to choose who to save. How do you make that choice?
That is the difficult part. It would be a very heavy burden. But I still think it would be worth it to help even one person. My power is about giving health and happiness to others, and your power is about giving adventure and happiness to yourself.
I think we'll have to agree to disagree. Both powers have good sides and difficult sides. So, listeners, what do you think? Are you Team Avery with the selfless power of healing, or Team Melody with the adventurous power of teleportation?
This whole conversation leads to a much bigger, more reflective question.
What's that?
If you had unlimited power, all of the superpowers we talked about, and more, how would it change who you are as a person?
Wow, that's a deep question. To be able to do anything you can imagine, I think at first it would feel amazing. You could solve all the world's problems.
Right. You could create world peace and end hunger, but I think it would change you. It would be hard to relate to normal people anymore.
I agree. Their everyday problems would seem so small to you. You might lose your patience and your empathy, and it would be very lonely. No one else in the world would understand your life.
And nothing would be a challenge. A big part of what makes life interesting is working hard to achieve something. If everything is easy, life might become very boring.
So maybe our limitations, the things we can't do, are actually an important part of being human. They teach us to be patient, to work together, and to be kind.
I think you're right. You know, this whole conversation about imaginary powers makes me think about the powers we have in real life.
What do you mean? We can't fly, Avery.
No, we can't. But we have other kinds of skills that are like superpowers. For example, being a very good listener for a friend who is sad. That's a kind of healing power.
That's a beautiful way to think about it. Or the power of creativity to write a story or paint a picture. That's like creating a new world with your imagination.
Exactly. And for every single person listening to us, you are working on a real-life superpower right now, learning a new language.
It really is a superpower. It's an ability that lets you connect with people from all over the world. It opens your mind and lets you have new adventures.
So while it's fun to dream about flying, remember that the skills you're building every day are real and they are powerful.
That's a wonderful note to end on. Thank you all so much for listening and using your imagination with us today.
Don't forget to let us know in the comments which superpower you would choose. We will love to read your answers. That's all from us at Language Flow.
Keep practicing your English superpower. Bye for now.